Hello students, I am Prem Dhawan and will be discussing with you dehydrohalogenation reactions of haloalkanes in this video. But before we start, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and press the bell button so that we can notify you whenever the next video comes. Now let us discuss the next reaction of alkyl halide, and the next reaction is dehydrohalogenation. Now what is the meaning of dehydrohalogenation? Now dehydrohalogenation means it's a loss of H and X from the same alkyl halide. Loss of hydrogen and halogen from the same alkyl halide. Now this D means loss. It's a loss of hydrogen, that's a hydro, and halogen means loss of halogen from the same compound. So in this reaction we eliminate X minus from the alpha carbon atom and we eliminate H plus ion from the beta carbon atom. So in this elimination, in this dehydrohalogenation, only alpha and beta carbons are involved. So the reaction is known as alpha beta elimination, or we call it simply beta elimination. So the reaction is called alpha beta elimination or beta elimination, and this loss of H and X results in the formation of a double bond between alpha and beta carbon atoms. So loss of H and X results in the formation of a double bond between alpha and beta carbon atom. Now this reaction involves the elimination of H plus ion from alkyl halide. To eliminate this H plus ion from the alkyl halide, we use a very strong basic conditions. So the reaction requires the presence of a strong base, so we use hot and alcoholic KOH. But in place of hot and alcoholic KOH, we can also use NaOH, alcohol and heat. So there are different ways to write the reaction conditions. The reaction requires the presence of hot and alcoholic KOH, or we can use sodium hydroxide, ethyl alcohol and heat. Let us take this example. Now this is haloalkane. This carbon is called alpha carbon and this carbon is called beta carbon, and the base attacks at the beta hydrogen and removes the hydrogen in the form of H plus ion, and this CH sigma bond then shift toward this side, forms a double bond, and this results in the loss of X as X negative. So our main product is alkene with a double bond between alpha and beta carbon, and the side products are BH and the X negative. So this is elimination. So whenever you are performing dehydrohalogenation, you eliminate X negative from the alpha carbon, H positive from the beta carbon, and form a double bond between alpha and beta carbon atoms. Now we will take some examples. Now this is our first example. We are starting with normal propyl chloride. And we are reacting this compound with hot and ethanolic KOH. Now first of all you identify which carbon is your alpha carbon and which carbon is a beta carbon atom. Now this is alpha carbon, this is beta, and there is only one beta carbon present from which the H can be removed. And since you have only one beta carbon atom present, so there is only one alkene formed. And in this case the alkene is propene, CH3, CH double bond CH2 plus the side products are like you can write KCl plus water. These are the side products. The main product of this reaction is propene. Now we take second example now. This is called 2-chloropropane. And again we are using the same conditions, hot and alcoholic or ethanolic KOH. Now in this 2-chloropropane, this is your alpha carbon and there are two beta carbons present. And if you look at the structure, both these beta carbons are identical. So you can eliminate H plus ion from any beta carbon, either from the left or from the right. So as a result, only one alkene is formed, that is also called propene. Now we take the next example, and this is called 2-bromobutane. Now this carbon is your alpha carbon to which the bromine is attached, and in this case also there are two beta carbons present, but in this case both the beta carbons are different. So we are labeling one beta carbon as beta and the second beta carbon as beta dash. Now since we have two different beta carbons present, so we have two options to eliminate H plus ion, either from the beta or from the beta dash. When you eliminate H plus ion from the beta carbon, you will get a double bond between alpha and beta carbon. When you eliminate H plus ion from the beta dash, you will get double bond between alpha and beta dash carbon. So in this case, two alkenes are possible. So one alkene is but2ene, where you have a double bond between alpha and beta dash present. Now second alkene is but1ene, and in case of but1ene, you have a double bond between the alpha and the beta carbon present. So if you look at these two alkenes, they have the same formula, they have the same arrangement of carbon, but only difference is in the position of the double bond. These two isomers are called position isomers. So how many alkenes are possible? It depends on the number of different beta carbon present, number of different beta hydrogens present. Now the question comes, how do you decide which one is the major one? So to decide which one is the major one, we use the Scherzoff rule. Now Scherzoff rule states that the major alkene is one which contains the maximum number of alkyl groups at the double bonded carbon atoms. So according to Scherzoff rule, the major alkene is one which contains the maximum number of alkyl groups at the double bonded carbon atoms. Now let us see these two examples. Now in case of but1ene, you have only one alkyl group at the double bonded carbon, that is ethyl. Now in case of but2ene, there are two alkyl groups present at the double bonded carbon. In this case, the two methyl groups are present. So in butene, there are two alkyl groups present at the double bonded carbon, and hence according to Sirtzeff rule, this butene is the major product. So the major alkene of this dehydrohalogenation of 2-bromobutane is the butene. But another way to state the Sirtzeff rule, when you are actually applying the Sirtzeff rule in the reactions, you can also write that the major alkene is one which contains the minimum number of hydrogens at the double bonded carbon. This is easier to see from the student point of view. So major alkene is one. So the major alkene is one which contains the minimum number of hydrogens at the double bonded carbon atoms. Now we take the same examples again, but1ene and but2ene. Now if you look at the structure of the but1ene, this double bonded carbon has two hydrogens present. This double bonded carbon has one H present. So you have a total of 3 hydrogens at the double bonded carbon atoms. Now if you look at but2ene, you have one hydrogen at this double bonded carbon, you have one hydrogen at this double bonded carbon. So total you have 2 hydrogens present. So but2ene contains less number of hydrogens at the double bonded carbon atoms, and hence but2ene is the major product. Right. Now we will take one more example. Now suppose you are given this example. And we are reacting this compound with hot and alcoholic KOH. Now the question is write the structure of the major alkene of this reaction. Now to write the structure of the major alkene, first in your rough work you write all possible alkenes. Now in this case, if you look at the starting compound, this carbon is called alpha carbon, and there are two different beta carbons present, so we label them as beta and beta dash. Now since you have two different beta carbons present, the two possible alkenes are formed. And the two possible alkenes are one, when you have a double bond formed between the alpha and the beta carbon present. Second possible alkene is when you have a double bond formed between the alpha and the beta dash carbon. Now we apply the Sirtzeff rule and will decide which one is a major one. Now look at the first one. At this double bonded carbon you have one H present. At this double bonded carbon also you have one H present. So this first alkene contains two hydrogen atoms at the double bonded carbon atoms. Now look at the second alkene. This carbon has one H present, while this double bonded carbon has 0 H present. So total in this case you have only one H present. So the second alkene contains the minimum number of hydrogens at the double bonded carbon, and hence this is the major alkene. So my answer A is this. So my major alkene is this A. So this is my major alkene. So this is the way you have to decide the final product of this dehydrohalogenation. Now the next comes, what is the use of this reaction? What is the use of dehydrohalogenation? Now we use dehydrohalogenation reaction whenever you want to change the position of the functional group. Like suppose you have a question to convert 1 chloropropane into 2 chloropropane or vice versa. You have to proceed via alkene. And in organic chemistry, as far as your syllabus is concerned, the two best methods to prepare alkenes are either dehydrohalogenation or dehydration. Since you already have a alkyl halide, you prefer dehydrohalogenation. So I will discuss one or two examples with you how to use this reaction in the conversion. Now the first conversion is convert 1-chloropropane into 2-chloropropane. So first of all, we write the structure of these two compounds. Now this is 1-chloropropane, and our aim is to prepare 2-chloropropane. So if you look at these two structures, the only change is the position of the functional group from the number 1 carbon to the number 2 carbon. So the reaction proceeds via alkene. So since you already given the alkyl halide, you prepare alkene by using hot and alcoholic KOH. This is our first step. So we use hot and alcoholic KOH, hot and ethanolic KOH, and since you have only one beta carbon in 1-chloropropane, so only one alkene is possible, and that is propene. Now after this, you decide whether you have to follow Markovnikov or anti-Markovnikov's rule. But since our aim is to prepare 2-chloropropane, we cannot prepare 2-chloropropane by anti-Markovnikov. So we use HCl and we follow Markovnikov rule. So the addition of HCl in the second step in this conversion takes place according to Markovnikov's rule. Now we take one more example, and this is again the second conversion. This is second conversion. Convert 2-bromo 2-methyl propane into 1-bromo 2-methyl propane. So again we write the structures first. Now this is 2-bromo 2-methyl propane. And our aim is to prepare 1-bromo 2-methyl propane. So if you look at these two structures, there is no change in the carbon skeleton. Only the position of bromine is different from number 2 to number 1. So again the reaction proceeds via alkenes. We convert this into alkene using hot and ethanolic KOH. And in this 2-bromo 2-methyl propane, all three beta carbons are identical. So you eliminate H plus ion from any beta carbon and only one alkene is formed. And in the second step, you add HBr according to anti-Markovnikov rule, because our aim is to add bromine at the number 1 carbon, which already contains more number of hydrogen. So we write HBr and then we write benzoyl peroxide. Any peroxide can be used. So in the second step, you decide it's a Markovnikov or anti-Markovnikov. But whenever you want to change the position, the reaction proceeds via alkene. So this is dehydrohalogenation. That's all for this video. I hope you got to learn something new, and if you did, then please press the like button and share this video with others. And if you have any doubt, any question, please note it down in the comment section. Thanks for watching. See you next time.